be a quick one. I just want everyone to know I am neither living in fear nor paranoia. Sherilyn would not have been able to get close to me had I been living in fear and paranoia. No one would have actually had to reach. When you live in fear and paranoia, nobody can reach you. I don't live in fear and paranoia. And why? Because I have faith. I have faith that all this is being dealt with and that it's going to be dealt with. Geo Farnsworth can fucking laugh and say, oh, Thomas is the one who has that Proton Mail account. Maybe. The fact that the dude actually just made a threat of domestic terrorism, because poisoning food in a town is a threat of domestic terrorism. My sheriff knows about it. I've sent the fucking emails to him, posted the shit on my blog. What the fuck do you think he's going to do about it? Not a fucking thing. Not a goddamn thing. They don't care. They want to protect these fucking child killers. But I don't live in fear and paranoia because I have faith. That's why I'm here. That's why I've been here this whole time. And I am not going to allow my therapist to get involved with this so they can go after my therapist. I know that goddamn game too. I've seen it with other people. You know, this group wants to protect their fucking child trafficking operation. And if you guys are okay with that, then fuck you. I'm not. And I would be willing to bet a lot of people who actually watch these videos aren't either. But they are. They're more than, and I know that I went into Casey's this morning and there were two deputies. Don't have a clue who they were, but they knew exactly who I was. And they were laughing, looking at me and laughing, saying shit underneath their breath. Like I give a fuck. Better learn how to live forever, motherfuckers. Because if you don't, there's hell to pay. But I'm not living in fear and paranoia of these dumbasses. But the fact that they can actually threaten domestic terrorism, so what? They go poison food and then what? It becomes my fault? It's my fault? I reported the shit, reported it to the sheriff, reported the shit. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to camp out at every goddamn grocery store in town to make sure that they don't do anything to the food? That's my job. So when do I get paid for this, I guess? Or am I just supposed to do it for free? And as far as Geo goes, him saying, oh, it's Thomas running with the Proton Mail, they all work together. They're all controlled opposition. And do I have a lot of them around me still, even after Sherilyn? Of course I do. I've been well aware of several of them for quite some time. That's the game. They get a play. And there's nothing I'm supposed to do about it. They get a play. And in playing, they bind themselves to the dark. And you can say that you don't believe that. You can have the opinion that whatever opinion you want. It doesn't change anything. Nothing. Opinions don't change shit. But for them to actually say, oh, he's living in fear and paranoia, it's like I said, dickheads can't fucking diagnose me without seeing me. That's illegal. The fact that Neil Gross is running around telling people that I'm paranoid schizophrenic and all this shit was in my head, well, obviously it's not. Who the fuck hung up all those flyers with my address, hoping that someone would shoot me, thinking I was a pedophile? Was that all in my head? What a fucking delusion that was. I guess it was contagious because everyone in town knows about it. They're so delusional, they thought they saw those flyers and they posted it on Facebook. The flyers. I'm not talking about the video, I'm talking about the flyers. What a fucking major delusion. I must be omniscient. That I can share my delusions with an entire town. Or maybe it's not a delusion and it shows that motherfuckers in town are helping these fucking child killers. And all I've ever wanted to do is expose this group. That's all I've ever wanted to do. I do these videos. I'm here. I keep working. I keep trying to expose it. And yet, these motherfuckers will just dismiss it with any fucking lie they can. You know? Am I irritated by it? Well, I would say I was irritated more than I was fearful or paranoid. You know? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But fucking pedophiles piss me off. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I shouldn't be like that. Maybe I should be loving and kind and just love these fucking pedophiles. Love these child traffickers who actually have murdered people. I mean, now the new argument is I didn't know how to spell Owen's last name, so I don't know Owen. That's I guess their new argument. He only was dating my sister for 20 fucking years. But I have no clue who Owen was. Well, if I didn't know who Owen was, then why did they brag that they murdered him? And Daniel Dowd can say, I'm not Pootie Twang. Okay, but you're answering the emails that I'm sending to the Pootie Twang account. So you're not Pootie Twang, and you don't know who Pootie Twang is, but you're answering the emails that I'm sending to the Pootie Twang account. And that makes sense. To most people, yeah. Haven't read a motherfucking book in their life. Don't have a brain cell that works in their head. You know? I guess. This is all about pedophiles. I could give a shit less about the Epstein mess. They have you guys all running around, pulling you by the fucking nose, waiting for shit that you haven't gotten yet and will never get. You know? And you all think you're doing something. You all think that you are actually involved with this and doing something. But what the fuck have you accomplished? What the fuck has anyone accomplished? Is the child trafficking shit exposed? No. You know? I just... whatever. You know? Yeah, you just did an IQ test and I'm sure it came out to be 0. Like I give a shit. Like I give a shit. That's what this group is like. And the reason why they're like this is because it always works. It's always worked. They've always treated people as idiots, and those people are always willing to rise to the challenge. And nothing ever gets done. And now heaven is getting ready to deal with it, and they're oblivious, and that's okay. Because as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the dark, the more the fucking merrier. You think heaven has a lot of rooms? Just wait until you meet the dark. The dark has way many rooms than heaven does. It accommodates so many more. And that's how it's working. That's how it works. And so, with this said, I just wanted to say, I'm not in fear. I'm not paranoid. You know? Calling these motherfuckers out when they're actually doing all of their shit and showing their shit isn't being paranoid. It's just showing their shit. Because they're fucking stupid. That's the reason why I am irritated. Because anybody in authority who has the ability to actually investigate and has the authority to actually do something with that isn't doing anything. But if you even just fucking gave it a moment try, these idiots don't hide shit. They parade around thinking that they are impervious to anything, that they act with complete impunity. They don't hide shit. It would be easy to find. But you're right. You're right. You go and sit on your hands and wait for this fucking Epstein list that you've been waiting for 10 fucking years. Instead of focusing on the live child traffickers, you go ahead and focus on the dead ones, right? You know? And so I'm so sick of dealing with this bullshit. I'm just sick of dealing with it. I'm going to continue because it's my cross to bear. Obviously, it's my cross to bear. You're right, dude, because your heart is stone. Your heart is stone. You don't give a shit what happens to kids. You don't give a shit. You don't give a fuck about the child traffickers. You know? You're absolutely right. Your heart is stone. You know? Fuck, let the child traffickers do whatever they want. Doesn't affect me. Okay. Okay. You're so in love with yourself. You know? Because it's all about you. Right? It's all about you. You're the only one who matters. If it doesn't affect you, then fuck it. Who cares? You know? And don't even bother to try, dude. Don't even bother to try. And that's what they want. None of you can fix it, so why do you care? Maybe because your fucking souls depend upon it. That's the sad part about it is. Trump's part of it. Trump's part of it. He's a fucking pedophile involved with all of this. They're all involved. Democrats and Republicans. It transcends political affiliation, religious affiliation, sex, gender. Anybody can be involved with this. The commonality is that most of them are rich, powerful, and connected. That's what it is, you know? Oh my God. Again, it transcends all lines. You know? It transcends all lines. All of them. All of them. They all need to be brought down. And that's what God is about ready to do. They're all buddy-buddy behind closed door. The Clintons and the Trumps were best fucking friends. And they were all friends with Epstein. One is Democrat, one is a Republican, all friends, all connected to Epstein. Everyone's known this for how long? And yet, here we still are. And why? Because it's entertaining. That's why. It's entertaining. You know? They blew up that Erlin, Iowa gas station explosion 11 months after they killed Isaac Cappy. They were trying to kill me with that gas station explosion. They have already done domestic terrorism. So to actually just dismiss the fact that they just sent me emails yesterday saying they're going to fucking poison food in Harlan, but we're just all supposed to just ignore it and look away. Oh, they're just pulling your chain, you know? The group that I'm trying to expose is directly connected to Isaac Cappy. Directly connected to Isaac Cappy. Geo, directly connected. Daniel Dowd, directly connected. Thomas Schoenberger, directly connected. You know? They're all connected. Thomas Schoenberger is Corey Daniel, Tara Joyce, Geo Farnsworth, Daniel Dowd, Defango, Sewertown. I believe he's their boss. I believe Gabe Hoffman is Thomas Schoenberger's boss. That's how it fucking works. They're not in opposition to each other. They work on the same team. You know, he works on this. They all work on the same team. And who heads this group? Michael Aquino, who I don't believe is dead. Yes, Keely Duran sent me all of the death certificates of Michael Aquino. I don't believe a fucking word of it. And Keely Duran is directly connected to Michael Aquino and Temple of Set. Doug Mesner, a.k.a. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, directly connected to Michael Aquino and the shit that Michael Aquino was doing. Thomas Schoenberger did the last interview that Michael Aquino ever did. You know? The Franklin credit stuff, all of the bullshit with bullshit, you know? And now they're calling me because that's how it works, you know? Now they're going to call and text and do anything they can to actually disrupt this thing. But I am neither in fear nor am I being paranoid. I'm just calling it out as it is. And I've documented this shit for years with their screenshots of their own shit on my blog. Telling people that it's all in my head and that I'm a paranoid schizophrenic doesn't work anymore now that they've hung up those flyers all over fucking town. You know? You know? Dude, I don't owe you anything. Oh my God. They're all in here just trying to actually thinking that their stupid shit is going to actually distract. That it's going to distract. And it's not. It's not. You know? Again, this is all about their little child trafficking operation. Flat out. It's about their child trafficking operation that needs to be exposed by someone other than me. This is more than a local issue, but it is a local issue. And people were involved. Investigators were involved in Harlan and in Shelby County before I even came along 9 years ago and moved to Erling. Because they've known about the meth operation. That's the reason. That's why they have my sheriff, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross, and his entire department by the short and curlies, because they knew about the meth operation. But no one was talking about it. They've never been able to get anywhere. Now people are talking about it. People in town are watching, and they're thinking, wow, this dude who's a nobody seems to be making a difference. That's the reason why I don't want to hear anybody say, well, there's nothing I can do about the child trafficking. There's nothing I can do about drugs. There's nothing. I'm just going to sit around and wait for Jesus, you know? And yet here I am. I'm making a difference, you know? This child trafficking bullshit needs to be exposed. The only reason why I got involved with dealing with this meth operation here in Harlan, Iowa, is because my sheriff, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross, wants to stand as a gatekeeper to protect these fucking child traffickers. And so I told him, dude, if you're going to stand as a gatekeeper, I'm going to fucking just roll right over you. Because you aren't going to stand in between me and these fucking child killers. I'm bringing this group down, one way or the other. And I'm not scared. And I'm not paranoid. I'm certainly fucking not suicidal. You know? Shit. If they thought they could do it, they would actually push me down. They are. They're going down. The UK is just as bad. The UK, again, Jimmy Savile came out. And so Jimmy Savile came out. What did they do? They gave you the Hampstead case, which was just nothing more than a bullshit case. The only thing that was real are those two kids that were being abused. Both sides were bad. Because if it was actually about exposing the child trafficking, you would have looked into the shit with Jimmy Savile and it would have come out. But more importantly, you would have focused on the Shirley Oaks group home, which is directly connected to the Catholic Church. You know? Directly connected to the Catholic Church, but it has 500 survivors that have come forward and actually have joined forces. So they don't ever want to bring up Shirley Oaks. They just want to bring the Hampstead case up, you know? And it's just the way it fucking works. But I just wanted to come out and make it a point. Do I look afraid? You know, do I seem paranoid? I'm just taking screenshots of their own shit and pointing it out. And their stupid shit. Daniel Dowd saying, I'm not Pootie Twang. Oh, you're an idiot. I'm not Pootie Twang. But you answer the fucking emails I send to that account. So how does that work? You're not Pootie Twang. You just have access to the email account. So how does that work exactly? You know? P. Diddy. Another part of it. There's not just one or two. There's a whole bunch of them doing the same fucking thing. Epstein was one. P. Diddy is one. I assure you, there's a whole lot more. But everyone's so focused on this Epstein list. And they're going to fucking drag you around by the nose. And then when it does come out, it'll have nothing in it. Because they want everything to be dismissed. The files will already be, they're already fucked. They've already edited those files. You think there's going to be anything incriminating on anybody real? Fuck, they're probably working 24/7 right now to actually scrub those files. How about actually focusing on the worker bees and stop business as usual? Thomas Schoenberger, Gabe Hoffman, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, and his whole Satanic Temple after school daycare bullshit. All of Sewertown, Corey Daniel, investigate Isaac Cappy. Everyone who was around Isaac Cappy. Shit, investigate me. Everyone who's come forward and come out to me. Investigate them all. Use me as a catalyst. Shit, investigate me. They have for years. Like I give a shit. You know? Defango, Tara Joyce, all these people who have been involved with all of this shit for years, for decades. Investigate them. Stop listening to them. Because you want to know who also said he was innocent? Jeffrey Epstein. You also want to know who's innocent? Just ask her. Ghislaine Maxwell. She's innocent, right? You just have to ask her. Stop fucking going to the goddamn pedophiles and asking, oh, are you guilty? Are you guilty of fucking pedophiles? You know, this is my job, dickhead. That's why you're in here. Because you don't like my job. I'll take a screenshot of that before I can put you in a timeout. Everyone in fucking prison. Everyone in prison. They're all innocent, right? Are there anybody who isn't innocent in jail? Criminals are always innocent, right? But you don't want to look at the victims. You don't want to talk to the victims. Instead of asking about the Jeffrey Epstein, why don't bring the whole group of fucking victims that have come forward and ask them? And then investigate what they say. But that's not how this shit works, ever. That's not how this shit works, ever. All so they can actually continue with their child trafficking operations. That's what this is all about. You know, that's what this is all about. And yeah, there are some people who don't give a shit. You know, there are some people who don't give a shit. But there are others who do. And those who don't give a shit, their hearts have turned to stone. All they give a shit about is themselves. They're okay that the orange pedophile Jesus is fucking kids, just as long as they think that he's working for them and bringing some money into their pocket. That's how this works. You know? They have turned to stone. You know? You know, probably bringing up fentanyl is probably not the brightest fucking thing. So that's what this game is all about. And people in town, they know. If I end up getting poisoned with food or worse, other people in town, something happens. Because don't say that they're not capable of doing domestic terrorism. They've already done domestic terrorism. You know, they've already done it. Early in Iowa gas station explosion was fucking domestic terrorism. You know, the official report does not in any way match the facts of the matter. And it's easy to figure out the facts of the matter because Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross was on camera in KETV. And now he's saying that it was one explosion that leveled the place. Okay, one explosion that leveled the place. Dan, the owner, was also on the KETV news program saying that he got out, went back in, got his brother-in-law, and got them both out to safety before the second explosion. So what? Physics just didn't work in early in that day? What, did he have a time machine? Was he able to transport himself back in to go save his brother-in-law? And how I know so much about this, I was also investigated. Yeah, Dan says that. Dan's on Dan's on television. He's the owner of the gas station. He got out of the gas station, went back in and got his brother-in-law and got them both out to safety before the second explosion leveled the place. That's all on KETV. They did a news report that night. Neil Gross, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff, knows all about it because he got interviewed that day. I know about it because I also got interviewed. All three of us were on that news program. You know, all three of us were on that news program. So how did it work? You know, this child trafficking thing needs to be brought down. People need to pull their fucking heads out of their asses and actually realize who they need to look at to stop this shit. Stop jumping on the bandwagon looking for these files from Jeffrey Epstein. You know, stop. It has gotten you nowhere. How far have you gotten with any of it? You know, nowhere. That's where. Oh, it's fun to watch on television, all of the drama. It's like we're living in a reality television program. Except that real kids are getting raped and murdered. Real kids are getting hurt. I don't think they think it's a reality television program, and I sure as fuck know they don't think it's entertaining. And the fact that there are people out there who find this entertaining is disgusting. Your hearts have turned to stone, and you deserve to be fucking claimed by the dark. Flat out. You deserve to be claimed by the dark. Epstein's dead. Maybe he's not dead. Who the fuck knows? I don't think Aquino's dead. But what fucking difference does it make? So now you're going to go look for him? You know? Again. Focus on the fucking worker bees. The ones who are involved. You want to know a good place to start? That Satanic Temple after school daycare. Because that's how they're targeting the fucking kids. Everyone who's involved with that satanic after school daycare is a fucking pedophile for the most part. Convicted pedophiles. Right. While you're there, go look for JFK Jr. You know? Go look for JFK Jr. and all of the other bullshit. Or go join those QAnon idiots down in Texas. The last time I heard, they were drinking Clorox to stave off COVID. You know? That's what I heard about them. Fucking stupid. Kids deserve better. They deserve more. They deserve more. I think that all needs to be. Famalam, Circada, Sewer Town, it all needs to be fucking looked at. It all needs to be looked at. You know? They all need to be looked at because they're all playing on the same fucking team. You know? They're all playing on the same team with the same objective. To fuck your kids. And if you're okay with that, then you deserve the dark. Flat the fuck out. You know? And God is about ready to bless you with it. It's called Satanic Temple After School Daycare. You can Google it. Satanic Temple After School Daycare. That's what it's called. Satanic Temple After School Daycare. But with that said, shit, I have things I have to do. Because my paranoid, scared ass has to go mow the lawn. You know? You don't need to know where I am, dude. Everyone knows where I am, you know? And yeah, I block people because they want to come in like Geo. Geo will say, oh, and Daniel Dowd. But they want to come in and actually inundate everything with all of their bullshit. They want to harass people, which they are. Geo is fucking running around anybody who supports me. He's searching them out online. You know, the whole thing about it is that I'm not putting people at risk. And these motherfuckers are relentless. They go after people. People who just support me, they go after. You know? That's this shit is just ridiculous. This shit is ridiculous. It needs to be investigated by authorities. By people who actually have the ability to actually do something. Because, like I said, I'm not Nancy Drew. So I investigate this. Then what am I supposed to do? Make a citizen's arrest? Is that what I'm supposed to do? A citizen's arrest? You know? Fucking stupid shit. But you have people. Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth bragged about coming in and murdering my friend Owen, who are now saying that I didn't even know Owen, even though he was dating my sister for 20 fucking years. But I didn't know him, you know? Pedophiles are my mental disease, dickhead. You know? What's yours? I wasn't posting because after Isaac Cappy died, I gave up. So did Fiona. What the fuck difference did it make? All the shit about Isaac Cappy, he says he's not suicidal in a Periscope video. The next day, he ends up dead. And everyone's just like, oh, well, I guess he committed suicide. I guess aliens zapped his fucking brain and changed it. You know? Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth bragged about murdering my friend Owen. Daniel Dowd, his Pootie Twang, posted all kinds of fucking live YouTube videos of my town, which is only 40 minutes away from Omaha. Fucking bragged about it. Now Daniel Dowd wants to say, I'm not Pootie Twang. You're a liar. I'm not Pootie Twang. But the email address that I had for Pootie Twang, who sent me all those videos, he's the one answering that. So how exactly is it? He's not the Pootie Twang now, but he was the Pootie Twang then. You know? They're fucking with my phone because now it needs to cool down. And I'm done with this anyway because I got to go mow the lawn. These motherfuckers need to be stopped. Flat out, they need to be stopped. They need to be investigated. They need to be stopped. You know? And funny how my funny how my phone only heats up when I'm doing YouTube videos and they do something to my phone that overheats my phone, so I had to let it cool down. But what I was saying was, if you don't give a shit about kids, and you don't give a shit that they're trafficking these kids, and you don't care what's happening to them, you don't care that they're raping them and trafficking them and having sex with them and all of that, the only thing I can say to you is, enjoy the fucking dark. Because the mercy that you don't have for anybody else, you reap what you fucking sow. You have no mercy, and then you want heaven to have mercy on you, and you think it's going to work that way, right? You think it's going to work that way. Hey, stop. What are you doing? And so you reap what you sow. If you're okay with fucking whatever happens to kids, you don't give a shit, then why does heaven have to worry about your stupid ass? You're so important to heaven because you offer so much? Is that how it works? You know? This fucking pedophile shit has to stop. It has to stop. And I'm not afraid, and I'm not paranoid. If I was paranoid, Sherilyn would have never gotten close to me. Nobody would have ever gotten close to me. And I'm not bringing my therapist into it because I know what they do. And I'm not having them attack my therapist. You know? I've made it quite clear that my therapist is supposed to stay the fuck out of it. But they want. Heaven means God. God uses all of heaven. When I talk about heaven, I'm talking about the whole thing. Heaven is run by God. And for me, personally, that means father and mother. I know that's controversial. But again, what does it matter? What I tell people is, y'all need to worry about your soul. I'll worry about mine. I don't need anybody else to worry about my soul. You know? But these pedophiles need to be brought down. Dude, they just stole a goddamn computer from me, dickhead. And ran all kinds of shit. Didn't find shit. Didn't run shit. But your little fucking dumbass opinions as your little anonymous account, you think that you're in here actually saying something? You know? I've only been at this for a long time. You know? But I will say that you coming in here and saying that, you need to be looked at. That's why I'm going to put a screenshot of what you just said, dickhead. Because I just got it. You know? Hardly anonymous. Daniel Hendy. Hendy. Daniel Hendy. Doesn't have a picture. You know? But you're in here. Never seen you before, but you're in here. You know? Don't look at anything that I'm saying. Look at everything that it's just look at me. Don't look at anything I'm saying. I've only had to deal with these fucking pedophiles for fucking decades. You know? They're hanging flyers around my town with my address saying that I'm a pedophile hoping someone shows up. But don't look at them! Look at David! They just said that they were going to actually poison the food in Harlan. But don't look at them! Look at David! You're right. Fucking criminal enterprise. That's how it fucking works. And they're in here because they want to actually shut me down. But I'm not Isaac Cappy. I'm not going to go run away afraid. I'm not Lori King. I'm not just going to give up afraid. I'm not Max Spears. I'm not just going to let him kill me and not do anything. You know? Here I am. Do I seem like I'm afraid? Do I seem like have I run? You know? No, I have signs out to my house. So the fucking people who actually see all of those little flyers with my address calling me a pedo, they can read my reply. I have a sign right in my front fucking door. You know? I'll continue fighting this till I'm dead, and then I probably won't stop. You know? I serve heaven. I serve the word. I serve God. Whatever needs to happen is going to happen. You know? Do I look famous? Yeah. I have what? A little over 8,000 subscribers, and I've only been at this for how many fucking years? You're right. I'm just famous. You know? You go ahead, Daniel. And you go ahead and investigate me. Why don't you? He's done that for decades. Tommy Schoenberger. Call my sheriff, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross. You know? Go ahead. Go ahead. They've investigated me. You go ahead and do your little investigation, okay? You go ahead. Protect the fucking pedophiles. You go ahead and protect those pedophiles. Big Bad David exposing those beautiful little fucking pedophiles. Those little fucking pedophiles need protection against Big Bad David. Enjoy the motherfucking dark, dickhead. Bro is on Epstein's list. You wish. Because that makes sense, right? I've just been trying to get all of this investigated for fucking decades. But I'm a criminal. That makes sense, right? I went in and gave this, how all this started was that I gave cold case, Nebraska State Patrol cold case dude, John Pankinen, my fucking DNA to compare it to the Ricky Chaddick case. But I'm a fucking criminal. I forced them to take my DNA, but I'm the criminal. But they want to convince you that I'm the criminal so that you leave those poor little pedophiles alone. Those poor little pedophiles. It's not a joke, dude. Children are getting murdered here. You think that's funny? You think that's funny? You think fucking child trafficking is funny, do you? What a what a laugh. Ha 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 ha. Oh my god, you people are just so fucking stupid. Stupid. It needs to be investigated. If you need, I'm telling you, investigate me and all the people that have come out and gotten around me. Investigate them. Investigate me. They have. You won't find shit. You know? They work for the devil. Anybody who fucking hurts a kid, it's better to tie a millstone around your neck and drown yourself than hurt a kid. That's how it works. You know? Nothing's changed. Except this group will tell you that they're the victims. The poor little fucking pedophiles are the victims. Well, let me tell you, heaven doesn't pay shit. Because I'm broke all the fucking time. You know? But it does. How do you think Jeffrey Epstein got his billions of dollars? You know? They're all rich. You know? They're all rich. And they get paid. They get paid. But that money fucking drags them into fucking hell. Drags them right into the dark. And all of this shit is about ready to end anyway. The sun is fucking cooking us. The sun is cooking us. Everything is being cooked. What was it? I think it was Greenland I just read this morning. Had 10 glaciers in Greenland. Now has an ice field. All of the glaciers that they had is now reduced to a glacier that's the size of 2 football fields. You know, but that won't have any fucking any. We don't live in Greenland. Nothing that happens on the other side of the planet affects us. You know, the end is almost here. The reaping is before us. We've been in judgment for quite some time. The reaping is about ready. You know. And so, with that said, I'm out of here. This shit needs to be investigated. I just keep saying the same shit over and over and over and over again. You know, I just keep saying the same shit over and over and over and over again. But now, as of yesterday, they just threatened domestic terrorism. If they go and do anything to the food in Harlan, that's domestic terrorism. Right there. That's fucking domestic terrorism. And my sheriff knows all about it. I fucking sent him the emails and I posted it on my blog and sent him the link to that. It's not like it's a secret. You know? It's not like it's a secret. The end is here. The end is here. And all of you motherfuckers with your cold ass little hearts who think, oh, I don't give a shit about children being fucking raped and trafficked. Fuck, it's none of my business. I don't give a shit. Enjoy the motherfucking dark, dickheads. Your compassion is nil. If you're okay with fucking kids being hurt, then you deserve the dark, where you're going to be hurt. You will suffer. And all I want you to remember is 4 easy little words. even with your head so far up your asses. 4 little words. I told you so. I told you so. Enjoy the dark. And just so I'm clear, what's happening in Gaza is fucking wrong. Is wrong. What's happening in the Ukraine is fucking wrong. And anybody who justifies it, who thinks they're going to get money in their fucking pocket, enjoy the motherfucking dark. Enjoy the dark. So, with that said, I just want to reiterate, I'm neither afraid nor am I paranoid, you know? And people actually matter, you know? People matter. Love God, love everyone else. Those are the 2 things that we had. Love God, love everyone else. If you're not doing those 2 things, you're going to end up in the fucking dark, you know? And so, whatever.